You might have dreamt about being swept off your feet by a prince like Julia Stiles in The Prince and Me. But have you thought about how strict their lives must be led? Maybe you could be a royal if you don't have a problem with the strangest rules the royal family has to follow. From not being able to finish your meal if the queen stops eating, to keeping 6 ravens at the London Tower at all times. 18 strangest rules the royal family has to follow. Number 18. Religion is still tricky. The rules of the royal family do evolve with time. You can see it in them being allowed to divorce and remarry or even marry divorced people, but it wasn't too long ago that marrying outside of this religion was not permitted. The royal family is Christian, and recently in 2011, the royal family member was granted the ability to marry a Catholic. Interestingly enough though, the royal family members themselves must stay loyal to Christianity, and if one of the heirs is raised of a different religion, they are not able to inherit the throne, even if they're next in line. Number 17. Parallel chins. When you are a royal woman, you have to worry about your full presentation anytime you are in the public eye. You have to make sure your attire is appropriate, your way of interacting is polite, and strangely enough, you have to remember to keep your chin parallel to the ground at all times, so no looking down at your feet or up in the sky. Number 16. Refined greetings. Bowing is for regular folk. Instead, the royals perfect the curtsy and the polite, slight head tilt. Don't grovel on the ground or make a fool of yourself. Your curtsy should be refined and dignified, not overdone. Although a slightly deeper bend is needed when greeting the queen. Another common greeting when meeting the queen is a handshake, but you mustn't grab her hand roughly or pump it, and you should keep eye contact until she removes her hand. Number 15. Dinner is a formal occasion. If you thought tugging on your nice jeans and putting on a button-up was your go-to dinner outfit, then you would probably not fit in at the Royal Palace dinner. Only formal wear is allowed. You must always present yourself in the finest fashion. You can't show up looking like a common person. Number 14. Women must wear hats to events. The rule seems to stand only to preserve traditions. Women used to seldom show their hair, and a fancy hat is the perfect way to cover it up in a dignified way. Although if anyone has ever laid eyes on Kate Middleton's hair, you know it's a shame to cover it up with a hat. She gets 3 blowouts a week to keep it in royal condition, but that doesn't mean she will be forsaking the rules. Number 13. Only married women can wear tiaras. You might be wondering why you've never seen Meghan Markle wearing a tiara while Kate wears one. This is actually a royal protocol that only married women are allowed to wear a tiara, so Meghan is going to have to wait until her wedding day to wear the traditional princess accessory. Did you know that Kate Middleton actually kind of broke a tiara-related tiara protocol? She wore a tiara on her wedding day even though it's only supposed to be worn in the evening. It's a small thing, but it didn't go unnoticed. Number 12. The heirs must always travel separately. This rule is pretty logical and is in place to make sure that in the case of an accident, both heirs won't be absent from taking the throne. The rule has been broken on many occasions though, especially since Prince William's children are so young. His father would be the first in line to take the throne, then him, then little George, and last but not least, the adorable Charlotte. The Queen has been lenient letting the family travel together. She was also granted the same leniency when her sons were quite little. Number 11. 6 ravens at the Tower of London. Seriously, this one doesn't even sound like it's real, but alas, it is. 6 ravens must be present at the London Tower at all times, or according to legend, the tower and the kingdom itself will fall. Charles II was the first to make sure that these birds were protected. Their wings are clipped and they are really quite pampered, being fed blood-covered biscuits and raw meat. At the moment, there are 7 birds, an extra one just in case something happens, and you can spot them in the 4 territories within the tower precincts. In the past, 1 raven was fired, so even the ravens must act according to a certain standard like the rest of the royal family. Number 10. When the queen stands, you stand. It's a pretty standard courtesy to stand when a lady leaves the table or to stand to greet someone new who enters the room. But you must also stand when the queen stands. If she enters a room, even her family is required to stand up. Number 9. When the queen stops eating, everyone has to stop eating. Imagine finally getting to eat dinner all dressed up and you can't wait to dig into a grand royal feast. The queen eats a few bites and then decides she's done. Well, you'll have to stop eating as well. Put down that fork full of delicious food because it's rude to continue to eat while the queen has stopped. Everyone must finish up when she stops, and if she places her purse on the dining table, then the whole dinner must come to an end within 5 minutes. It's her signal that it's over. Bye-bye food. So you have to hope that the queen always has a healthy appetite. Number 8. Don't forget myrtle in the wedding bouquet. Flowering in the Queen's 170-year-old garden is the flower that every bride must include in their wedding bouquet. Myrtle. Ever since the 1800s, when Queen Victoria received the plant as a gift from Prince Albert's grandmother, this tradition has stood. The bouquet always includes white flowers, and each bouquet has been left at the grave of an unmarked warrior since Queen Victoria did it after her wedding. The myrtle flower is thought to represent love and marriage, so it's only natural that this has been a well-kept tradition. They are not limited to that one flower. They can include a range of other white flowers, but you'll see it at every royal wedding. Number 7. All black outfit is a packing essential. Dress code for the royal family is not just a suggestion. They wouldn't be caught dead wearing an inappropriate outfit in a setting that would offend anyone. For instance, when the Queen got news that her father passed away while she and Prince Philip were in Kenya, she didn't bring a black outfit to return to the country in. So it's apparent why the royals must keep a mourning outfit with them while flying abroad, but seems like a constant, morbid reminder in their luggage that they are just waiting for someone to pass. Number 6. Not allowed to eat shellfish. Buttery lobster and crab legs or creamy clam chowder, just the thought of it can get the saliva moving in your mouth. The royals, however, have to keep away from this type of seafood because they aren't allowed to indulge in it. The reason they don't get to partake in a tasty shellfish platter is because it's a high-risk food for food poisoning. It happens to everyone at least once in their lives, but having a case of the stomach bug can really mess up their schedule, and they certainly just don't have time for that. Number 5. Keep your hands off the royals. You might not realize that a rule is being broken when you see this photo, but LeBron's hand really shouldn't be around Duchess Kate's shoulders. Americans are generally inclined to touch when they first meet someone, like with a warm hug or holding hands, but that should never be done with a member of the royal family. It seems like someone should have briefed LeBron on that before this little photo op, or maybe they did, and out of instinct, he leaned in on a pose how he usually does. Either way, British tabloids were up in arms when this went public. Number 4. No garlic in the royal palace, or rice, pasta, or potatoes. Now, some of you might not have been affected by learning that you'd have to give up shellfish to be a royal. But could you go without garlic? You'd be surprised to learn how much garlic is included in some of your favorite dishes. The Queen despises the aroma of garlic, and it's just not allowed in the palace. Not only that, but she insists that no starchy foods are included in the meals served, so pasta, potatoes, and rice will not make it into the meal plan either. So if your favorite dish is like shrimp linguine with a butter garlic sauce, then you are just straight out of luck. Number 3. Expected to learn multiple languages. Having to be well-versed in the art of linguistics is a must for the royal family. It's no secret that the Queen herself is excellent at speaking in French. She was once filmed confidently holding a conversation with the French president, François Hollande. Prince William and Prince Harry have used their practice languages at events also. William used Mandarin a few years ago to welcome in the new year, and Harry spoke a bit of Arabic in Dubai at a fundraiser. Most impressive, though, was Prince Charles, who spoke in not 1 or 2, but 5 different languages in an anti-poaching message: Mandarin, Arabic, Spanish, Swahili, and Vietnamese. Number 2. Don't turn your back on the Queen. If you are lucky enough to strike up a conversation with the Queen, you must not end the conversation yourself and turn around to leave. Seriously, this is a major faux pas. The Queen will end the conversation when she is done and excuse herself. Sometimes she will use her purse as a signal to others that she is done with the interaction by switching her purse to the opposite arm. Number 1. No PDA, not even holding hands. More of an unwritten rule than a carved-in-stone mandation the royals must follow is no public displays of affection, or PDA. Her Majesty the Queen has always refrained from showing affection to her husband in public, and the rest of the family has followed her lead. It set the standard for how all of them should act. With all the little ones running around, everyone is quite aware that there is no shortage of affection behind closed doors. You may have noticed that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle aren't following this rule. There are plenty of photos showing them linking arms, hugging, and even kissing in public. But this is where Harry's nickname, the Spare Heir, comes to good use. He's getting farther and farther down the line to taking the throne, so he can relax a little bit and we can all swoon over their unhidden love. If you think you can abide by all of these silly rules, you might want to try and snag yourself a royal partner. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.